Hey y'all, my name is Lo Harris. I'm an illustrator and an animator based in Brooklyn, New York. So here's a little about my early creative career. I actually got my start in journalism. I studied at Northwestern University's Medill School of Journalism, got a Bachelor of Science in Journalism, as well as a certificate in integrated marketing and communications. And since graduating in 2018, I went on to work in a number of newsrooms, the New York Times, the Chicago Reporter, and most recently NBC News as an associate animator on their digital platforms. The events of 2020 have really clarified the importance of my voice as a Black woman working in the media and art spaces, and it has encouraged me to speak up and to contribute to this effort to create space for other Black women to contribute to important conversations through art. It has really empowered me to actually step into my purpose and pursue art more seriously by leaving journalism so that I can tell stories with a sense of authenticity and with a sense of my own personal truth. So 2020 has changed a lot. Black Lives Matter has changed a lot. This election has changed a lot. And I am encouraged now more than ever to really step out, step up, and make my voice heard. When I get tired of my old reliable palettes, because I do have some colors that I like to revisit and reincorporate into my work, I actually seek inspiration from other mediums. I have Pinterest boards full of fabulous work by makeup artists and quilt makers and fashion photographers who really inspire certain moods or certain color combinations that I want to try to capture or alter or capture some version of within my own work. And sometimes I even capture color from everyday life. Like, there are times when I'm walking down the street, on my morning walk, and I'll see a piece of trash and I'm like, that's a really cool color piece of trash. I should use that color. One time I was watching Beyonce's Black is King, the music video, and there was this one segment where they were having this beautiful outdoor tea party scene, and there was this hot purple color that everyone was wearing. And I looked at my roommate and I said, I am going to use that hot purple at some point. So I really try to pick up different colors just from different things, from different people, from different places, from different practices. So my characters sometimes are based on actual people, but most of the time they aren't necessarily based on people I know or even myself. But I do like to make them hyper specific or specific enough that they're universal to people, that they can kind of recognize someone that they know, in the drawings that I will create. Like, they feel like authentic characters. And I like to do this by incorporating relational elements in my work and everything I do. So the way that I define a relational element, it may be the way that the character's relating to the viewer, of course, but or to each other, but I like to incorporate culturally specific hairstyles or culturally specific fashions, or beauty marks, or just different features, or a little neck roll here, different features that are interpreted in my own style, but that are kind of like low-key relatable. And by doing that, it's actually been a very body positive experience for me, because it allows me to sort of recognize and give life to the beauty of others in these very minute, small ways, while also recognizing my own beauty and, things like my gap, or I have very light freckles, just things that really are so small, but are so characteristic of people. So no, they're not particular people, but they're so specific that they're universal. My work does push forward these narratives of hope, these narratives of self-advocacy and confidence and mental wellness. And these are things that I am not going to claim that I am a guru of. Like everybody, I struggle with so much. And when I create this work, it's actually an aspirational action for me. These are things that I am trying to learn how to do myself. They're things that I'm trying to learn how to practice in my own life or implement in my own life. And it empowers me to continue on my journey to implement that by creating work that encourages others to also pour into themselves. Because I do want to show more gratitude. I do want to be a more forgiving person. I do want to be an advocate for myself. And I do want to be a fair person. So these are messages that I do push forward, you know what I mean? Again, illustrating a more just and kind world, because these are things that I am working toward or am trying to work toward or want to work toward in my own existence and the way I walk this earth. So I am incredibly excited to have collaborated, on the Bombay Sapphire video for the VR edition of the art fair. And when the process in going into that actually is, I really wanted to focus on style framing and illustrating the different parts of the video. I'm very used to drawing everything myself, animating everything myself, doing everything myself. But I had this opportunity to work with another animator. And as an animator, I really love that, because when you work with another animator, after you style frame something, they may interpret what you've created in a way that you might not have even imagined before. Like, yes, I did provide blueprints for how we get from point A to point B, but I love collaboration and I love being surprised by how other people put their own twist on something to really help push it to the next level. So that was kind of one facet of working on this project that I was very excited about. In terms of the style framing process and the process of putting together, the visual elements of this piece, my way of sort of bringing in the relational element that is very important to my work was to draw reference to virtual happy hours. I didn't just want this to be, hey, like people are getting a drink and they're chilling in this environment that is completely unrelated or not in the same universe as, our lives now, during COVID-19. So I did want to draw into this idea of the virtual happy hour, a woman who's like all dressed up in front of her computer. She has her G&T can, and she's really just living her best life. Because that's something that a lot of us can relate to right now. And it's something that still has a sense of optimism and hope, despite everything that's going on this year. I'm so happy to be working on this project. I'm so happy to be creating art in my own authentic voice. And I'm so proud to be creating work that champions confidence and joy and brings happiness to people from so many different walks of life. And I can't wait to see where this next year takes us.